All right, we are back. 2011 Chicago Open, just outside of Chicago. We are in Joliet, Illinois. I'm Matty Marshall. I'm here with Nikki Cuba, and you are looking at Dynasty on your screen right now. They have had an absolutely stunning year. It's been the story of paintball so far. In 2011, they brought Oliver Lang back to the fold and just been hitting on all cylinders. They have 4 wins. They are the team to beat here. They're taking on hometown favorites Chicago Aftershock, who have struggled after taking second place in last year's World Cup. Nikki, break this game down for me, man.
Right now, you got a hungry Aftershock team. I know I always play better when I'm at home. I believe that they do as well. Whenever Shock's in Chicago, they always bring it. And they're going up against a team right now that is possibly one of the best teams that I've seen step out onto a paintball field with the personnel that they have. The new kids, not Oliver, but the new kids on the team are what's bringing their level up.
I agree 100%. Yosh Rao catches one off the break as Dynasty scrambles to get out. Ollie Lang making it in there clean. Very narrowly avoids getting
5
shot.
alive for Aftershock. Guns blazing. They're in the positions right now.
Yeah,
they got the snake. Snake 2.
McCurley, awesome job all the way into the 50-yard line.
And they
snake.
just shot out Stephen Pitts off the Dorito side from that tall tower.
And they shoot out Oliver Lang as well. And here comes Brad McCurley just streaking down the field and taking out the last player.
Wow.
Ooh.
He shot the back center on the run. Oliver Lang on the run and bunkered out. Alex Frazier gave him some in his back that he's feeling right now.
Yeah.
And they're coming to play. And they have to. That's what they have to do right now. They have to bring it.
You know, Aftershock is a legendary name with a group of guys that are really trying to get to that status. They're not there yet. You have great talent on that team. So far, they've been underperforming. Again, they took second place last year in a great tournament that they played in World Cup. They did get beat up in the finals by Russian Legion, who ended up playing flawless that game, and they are defending champions. However, you know, to come out here first point and make a statement like that against a Dynasty squad that, like you said, and I agree with you a 1,000,000%, man. I think that if you look at this historically now, we'll see how the rest of the year plays out. But with the addition of the kids from Aftermath, talking about Dalton Vanderbilt, Mouse, Mike Mesa, with that young group of guys, and then you bring Mike Hinman back and coach, and Oliver comes back, and you already got the solid original group of guys, Yosh Rao, Ryan Greenspan, Alex Frazier,
Glenn Takamoto.
I mean, literally that could potentially be arguably the best team that any team has ever fielded. You know,
yeah.
Like I think that's a great point that you brought up. Now, that remains to be seen, especially if they, they just took a pretty bad whooping on that point from Shock. Now, I'll tell you what, Dynasty's road to 4 wins this year has not been without a little bit of a few bumps. You know, like they lost real bad to the Russians in the first PSP event of the year, and but they've been able to maintain their composure while taking some hits.
But that's what it takes. You know, it takes those bumps, it takes those bruises to make you adapt and change your game plan and figure out what you did wrong. That was only 1 point just now. That's not saying that Aftershock's going to win this game right now. I know that Mike Hinman, their coach, and those players right now are in their huddle and they're like, all right, this is what we did wrong. This is what we need to adjust. And I'm sure in the next point that you see that next squad come out, they're going to have those adjustments. They're not going to lose those bodies on the break.
I agree. Well, let's see what happens. Right now, they got Alex Goldman, Mouse out here, going to be trying to stunt over here on the snake side of the field. Now, he had an amazing day yesterday. Just pretty much doing standard what he's been doing for a while. He's really coming into his own. I think that's a huge asset to Dynasty.
I would say that this is from a time that I played with him on the Ironman when he was a child, and we won 2 championships. He wasn't at the level that he is this season. This season is the best I've seen him. I think he's grown up and matured tenfold. But the person that I think on that team is doing it and bringing the team to the next level is Dalton Vanderbilt.
So Dalton's on that.
And as I say that, he gets shot. That's my jinx. I'm sorry, Dalton.
So Dalton getting shot off the break on the run out to the Dorito side. Let's see if Glenn Takamoto trying to scurry over there. He's able to get it out. And here comes McCurley again, though. Dynasty's been letting McCurley just run rampant over here so far this game on the snake side of the field as he immediately gets to the 50-yard line snake and starts to shoot cross field.
And that's smart. Right now, he has the whole right side covered, and it's going to free up some of their guys on that Dorito side, but they need that back center guy to fill out because they lost their threat on the Dorito side. So Dynasty's not in a bad position right now. They're still in good position. They have 4 bodies alive in the positions that they are. They're watching lanes. They're covering the next bumps. So they're able to contain Chicago from making these next moves.
Yeah, so Chicago Got a player in the center, Nick Sloviak. Stand up Temple. They got a back center player as well. And he tries to streak out. That's Yost, able to get out all the way to the back corner bunker.
Yost and Yosh both made it out to those corners. They matched each other at the same time, and it was much needed for Dynasty to spread the field as Aftershock was spreading the field.
Yeah, it was definitely a good move for both teams. So we got ourselves a little bit slower of a point now as the teams settle in to the mix. Shock up one, 17:28 left on the clock. Nick Sloviak making a move over here towards the snake side of the field to the stand-up can.
Great move, because he now contains that God bunker. Oh, but like we were talking about, Alex Goldman comes up with a great snapshot.
It was actually Sosine. So Sosine, and Sosine's been playing good in there, but yeah, definitely was a good move, but then looks out into a ball, and now Alex Goldman into the snake. He's shooting crossfield. And McCurley trying to get a shot. He misses his shot on Glenn Takamoto. Oh, and then he wears
Alex
a couple.
Goldman making a great Spidey sense move right there. He felt him coming, stood up, blew him apart.
And now Dynasty getting on the board. Score is going to be all tied up at 1 apiece. Ryan Greenspan running that flag in for Team Dynasty.
And I don't think Shock changes anything right there, except for how they play in the bunkers.
I agree.
You know, being smart in their bunkers, choosing their gunfights wisely, watching the lanes that they should be watching and not trying to look off. What was
Sosine.
Sosine.
Chris Sosine.
Chris Sosine. He had snake locked off. He went to look onto the other side, Dorito side of the field, and Alex Goldman took that opportunity. That window was open for 0.5 second, and
that's all he
blew his head off.
Yep. Yeah, and that's unfortunate for Sosine, is that when you're dealing with a team like Dynasty and you're scrapping against those guys, every single little baby millimeter counts.
Yeah.
You know, and these guys are really good at seizing those windows. Now, this field particularly is a field where windows will open and close very quickly.
Yeah.
It's a very much a counterpunch paintball field, and we've been seeing a lot of these crazy moves and these bloodbath points where a lot of guys will be dying, and then all of a sudden it's one guy will make a very dynamic move that will alter the course of the game.
Yeah, and on this field as well, it's so many blind zones and ways to block people from shooting you by stopping and then going, choosing, you know, where you can stop in the open, shoot your gun, see a lane, see him stop shooting his lane, and then take the move that you wanted. And that's just being a smart paintball player, using your head and being a seasoned veteran to know that stuff.
Yeah. Well, with 16:45, tons of time, 1-1, it's all tied up. Dynasty already with 2 wins so far in this event, and very close games though. Well, one close game. Yesterday, Dynasty took on X Factor, won 7-3, and then took on Impact and won 7-4.
And here's the break.
All right, let's see. Guns up heavy for Aftershock as they try to run Sam Monville out to Snake 1. Kind of a lackadaisical run, though. He
Dynasty also loses Alex Goldman on the break, and they're stuck in the center while Aftershock spread out on that Dorito side. Now, if Aftershock plays smart, stays alive on that Dorito side with Zach, they could capitalize.
And they lose Sosine again out of that stand-up bunker. Now, Ryan Greenspan trying to battle out of the back center bunker for Dynasty, rolling his gun.
Great fill for Shock.
Oh, and Yosh gets picked off. Yosh gets picked off, trying not to make it out to that back corner.
Shock widening the field, but Zach getting shot on the inside from Oliver Lang from that back center.
Looks like Drew Templeton did take it out for Shock, and another. It looks like Chad getting shot for well. And look at that. And look at this. This is what we're talking about, Nikki. You got, you know, Aftershock was in a decent field position. Has got Minkowski still left alive for him. However, they're just getting guys shot out of their bunkers, and you can't do that against Dynasty and expect to pull off a victory. Oliver Lang left alive for
and
team.
Steven Spitz.
Yep. Stephen Pitts left alive. That's a new pickup for them too.
Great pickup. I actually been trying to pick him up all season. He's a phenomenal player, you know, and he was out of the game for a little bit. Wanted to take a break. I believe actually he had received some concussion from one of the boys named Mike Paxson in a game, and he wanted to take a little break, you know, and
why does that not surprise me?
And see what was up. But that's because Steven Pitts, the way he plays, he's up front, in your face, always at the X. Well, he loves coming through the middle of the field, so he's got 5 guys shooting at him at all times. So he's got a lot of paint going at his head.
It's just not surprising that it was Mike that doled out that punishment, because I watched Mike headhunt I can't remember who exactly it was in the back corner, but Mike's a very physical player. We were talking about how paintball is not a contact sport, but it's a very physical sport.
Yeah.
And concussions are incredibly rare in this game. I mean, actually, injuries in general.
That's the first I've heard of.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of too. Now, injuries are now what you're going to see a lot in paintball. I mean, you're going to see blown knees, and actually, what you really see a lot of is just a repetitive wear down of joints over a lot of time.
Maddie's saying that because he's hurting right now as an old man.
I will outrun you. You want to?
He's lying.
We go have a run right now. How far do you want to run?
You want to run a 40-yard dash?
Sure.
All right.
All right.
It's going to go down.
Then after that, we're going to go run 10 miles, and we'll see who wins.
Okay, I could do that too.
Can you really?
I've been practicing.
Have you really?
Yeah.
All right,
boy. No, that's what I've been doing. I've been running 6 miles every day, 4 to 6 miles every day, and just trying to stay in shape with that. And then also hitting up, just the regular training,
Nice.
in the weight room. You got to do that. You got to stay. You got to stay young with these kids.
Well,
now that I'm saying that, I'm the old guy.
You are the old
used
guy.
to be the young
you just
guy.
had a birthday too. Happy birthday, by the way. That's a couple,
We're
a little
supposed
while
to keep
ago.
that on DL, dog.
Well, I mean,
I
I just want to let everyone know. You want to hit him up on his Facebook and congratulate him. Nikki's 37 years old.
Thank you to all the people that did do that. I appreciate it. Much love.
All right, let's see the breakout here. Looking at Aftershock.
Aftershock trying to take that Dorito can, and they were doing it so good yesterday that they just figured it would work. But Dynasty's great shooters on the break. You got Yosh Rao, who's one of the best.
But just Aftershock getting chewed up and just blown to pieces right now as Alex Frazier coming over here, stunting on the snake side of the field, hunting down, trying to see if there's any players left alive. It doesn't look like there is, as Joe Shroud clearing out the center of the field.
And it comes into that first 10 seconds. Live in the first 10 seconds. Get to your bunkers, stay alive, communicate, find out where the other opponents are, and talk to your teammates. Communication is everything in paintball.
It really is, especially now that there's no coaching on the Dorito side of the field. I really love that change to the game. I've always been a proponent of that, and I really believe that lets the better players rise to the challenge because, paintball, it really is a game where you need to use your mind and your wits and quickly put things together and then make moves off of that. And you're going to see, I think you're seeing the better players rise up.
Correct. I believe, I've always wanted it to be X-ball, no talking on either side. And you really see how great some of these players are, how we're able to pull off these moves. And you're not able to see it to the full potential.
I totally agree, and again, the PSP is trying to do whatever they can to make this game and mold it into the most perfect game that we possibly can get.
And they're doing a great job with it. Not taking anything away from that. Just personally.
Oh, I totally agree too. I've never ever been a fan of coaching. Even when we first began the X-Ball Odyssey in 2003. And that change got instrumented in. But, hey, it is what it is. It does add a very interesting element for the fans here who are able to scream from the sidelines. And, and honestly, it's really tough to hear anyone anyway on the sidelines on the snake side of the field because there's just this huge cacophony of noise coming from the sidelines.
And it shows in one of the points that I was playing up at that X. Mm-hmm. I was hearing that they were in the echo, which is that little Dorito on the Dorito side. And I'm hearing it, and then I hear the call for the can, and I'm like, you just told me he was in the one spot, and then I get blown up. But that was because I wasn't talking to my teammates on the field, and that's my fault.
And the communication, like you were saying, is huge. All right, so here on the breakout, Dynasty doubling up that back center again, and Ryan Greenspan's going to want to get out of there, but actually first out of there is Glenn Takamoto moving towards the Dorito side of the field.
Only two bodies alive for Aftershock.
Aftershock just falling apart right now off the break. Dynasty really starting to hone in those shots off the break, and a lot of that's Ryan Greenspan and Glenn Takamoto doubling up that back center.
Yep. And now it's just one guy left, no guys left.
Yeah, the only player coming off the field early is Tyler Shelton for Dynasty as he got taken out in that center. And Ryan Greenspan running the flag in to try to conserve. Looks like a major penalty was assessed on Aftershock that game, or that particular point.
And you run it in to save the time up there, folks. If you don't know why he's hustling in there, he's trying to save as much time on that penalty clock as possible. And you're going to see that in the next couple of points. that they will be hustling to capitalize on Aftershock's mistake.
Yeah, and that's a huge mistake too, because this game was incredibly close. The score 3-2 with 14-19 left in regulation. And the thing is, but now they have that full major penalty they're going to have to play with and try to grind that clock down while trying to also narrow up this margin right here. And also, you know what I'm noticing too is that Aftershock put that first point on the board. If you're looking at their body language, you correct me if you think I'm wrong, but their body language has just not been good since then.
Oh, ever since that second point.
Yep.
You know, the second point that Dynasty scored, it's been just heads down walking up the field. When you see someone walking with their heads down, I love it. You know, I'm in their head. I know it, and I feed off that.
You love that. I know. You're always trying to get in people's. But you know what, though?
Because I'm going to continue on it. I'm gonna harp on them. I'm going to talk to them, and I'm going to just keep on trying to bring them down.
But I think that there's some things that's you're never going to breed out of your paintball heritage, and that's coming up with the hardcore guys on Ground Zero, the hardcore guys on Aftershock, where it very much the game is less about intimidation as it used to be. Back in the day, you know, particularly
you were afraid to get punched in the face.
Yeah, well, in the formatting years of this sport, the men that played this, and this was a man's sport, is younger and young. It's great that there's been a huge influx of young players, and that's absolutely great for the longevity of the sport. But when this was as the sport was rising through the ranks and more players were being added, the guys at the top were all grown men, and they were very, very, very hardcore men mostly. You know, so and you grew up with a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Well, we all did, but. Here we go on the breakout, score 4-1.
Ryan Greenspan getting eye-pieced off the break, so it's a 4-4. But Oliver Lyon capitalizing on no one being on Dorito's side, getting up to that A, shooting out Monville, and controlling right now, containing the back center from being able to fill out, trying to wrap around, get a shot on the back right side.
Yeah, Oliver is playing all over in there. He's trying to look maybe something underneath the A. Now he's wrapping around because there's no one on that Dorito side, like you were saying,
Alex
Nicky.
Goldman going to shoot out the back center. Yep, there it is. Alex Goldman making a great move, filling into the snake.
Now just
and Nick Sloviak
is going to have to tap out. So nice job, and just Dynasty continuing to put it on Aftershock, and pretty much, well, it's been all Dynasty since that first point. The first point went to Shock, and now it's been 5 unanswered points for Dynasty as they continue to run this score up. 13:24 left on the clock, 1:05 left on that major penalty that Shock got.
And right now you got to think, you know, to Shock, you know, it is possible to pull this out. It has been done before. You're able to take that minute off. There's 13 minutes left in this game. There's a separation of 4 points. That's not a lot. But what they have to do is right now be able to weather the storm for the next minute and 5 seconds of their penalty to get their guy out of the box while this game is still going on. If they could do that, then they got a chance. If they can't do that right now and they let Dynasty get this point really quick, this game's going to be over.
And you know, like you said, weather the storm. This is a storm that they're confronted with right now. 13:24 left on the clock. That's a ton of time. You know, I mean, you're not dealing with a situation where there's not enough time left in the game to come back. I mean, you can absolutely score 4 points in over 13 minutes. But again, it really comes down to that mental tenacity, and I'm seeing it drain out of Aftershock as each point gets scored on the board for Dynasty.
Yeah, and as it's drained out of Aftershock, it's giving Dynasty that much more confidence because they're seeing their reaction, their body language.
Yeah, so directly after this game, last 2 games of Saturday's competition before we head into Sunday, X Factor taking on Impact, and then Dynasty will be taking on Damage. And X Factor played great in their game against Damage, taking them down and really showing that form that made them one of the favorites in the Pro Division. Impact, you know, hit or miss. Great players on that team.
Yeah.
And I expect that to be an awesome game. Love Impact's program. The Dynasty and Damage, you know, again, Dynasty hitting on all cylinders right now, and Damage really needs to pick it up after their loss to X Factor. All right, about 5 seconds to go for the start of this next point.
Alex Frazier making a big move to the snake. Gets in the snake 1. He's going to go right around the snake 2. You're going to watch him come up and blow apart this guy. He's just going to keep on going, and he should go to the next spot. Gets a G. He just shot that guy underneath the arm.
Yep.
So now we got 3 Aftershock bodies in all the back spots. Alex Frazier in there, snake one.
Just textbook play by Alex Frazier right now. Great move off the break, able to get in, ran eyes up, looking at the streams, gets in, no one's shooting at him.
Dynasty down one player,
field.
Yosh Rao, but that's fine because they have a 4-on-2 situation. Great position across the field. Steven Pitts making a good move, spreading the field onto the Dorito side, so they're going to have to start worrying about him. But Alex Frazier being lazy after textbook work, getting in there, doing the work, got lazy, and hung himself out to dry for that back left corner to shoot him out.
Yeah, so Alex Frazier walking
There's
off.
6 seconds left on this clock. They're going to be coming out of this box.
And Oliver is directly, and Oliver Lang smartly puts himself in a position. They can try to get a shot on the.
And
I think he might have, got that shot in. So Oliver Lang able to get a shot in. Nice job by Oliver.
Only one guy left, back right. Nick Sloviak with Glenn Takamoto. Oh, sorry, Mike Mesa and Oliver Lang coming on him.
So nice job by Oliver Lang. Alex Frazier, again, textbook until he got a little bit lazy and got shot. But it doesn't matter because there's just too much Dynasty for Aftershock to handle right now. The score 6-1, and Dynasty 1 point away from taking their 3rd win of this event so far.
Yeah, that was a heads-up play from O right there, shooting out that box, not giving them the opportunity to even out the score. And, that just comes because he's a great player.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I think that one of the greatest assets that Oliver does have is that he's always in the game mentally. I mean, there's no situation that Oliver's going to get put in where he's not going to know, okay, well, I know I have a guy in the box to worry about, or it doesn't matter. Like, he just has that great
awareness.
Yeah, he has that great field awareness at all times.
And you need that out here, and that's what gets you to this level. That's what keeps him at this level. That's what keeps a lot of us at this level is the awareness, and it gives us our longevity in this sport.
Yeah. All right, so just under a minute to go before the start of what could be the last point of the match, and Dynasty just putting it on Shock. And it's kind of got to be frustrating for Aftershock as they just continue to underperform. I see they got a lot of the same guys they had when they took 2nd place last year's World Cup, and kind of like you guys, except a little bit different situation. I feel, you guys have a more talented roster than they do.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's like, for us, we come out stunning one day, and then the next day it's total polar opposite.
Yeah. We
have a great practice. We come in the day 1 of the event, have a crappy first day of the event.
Yeah.
Then we turn it up for the next day. And that's just something that we're going to figure out.
Yeah, or when you guys played the Russians today, and I watched the beginning of that game, and I'm like, oh, this is one of the games I was looking forward to the most to watch today. And I didn't call that game because we had Oliver and Ryan up here, but it was, I thought, okay, well, Infamous, they came to play, And then you guys just let the Russians run away with it after that.
Yep. And that was
a lot of close points too. A lot of close points.
That was mental breakdown on our own part from not communicating. Not playing as a team.
All right, so right now 5 alive for Dynasty and the cross-field spread.
Making a good move in the snake too.
He's got to stay low though as he comes around there.
He must have heard you.
Yeah, well, he's a really tall guy.
Yeah,
he's our height.
Yep.
And he's not the bittiest of Aftershock's players, but still he's probably, I think, the smartest player on the team.
Yeah.
And they lose McCurley. McCurley coming off, so 4 players left alive for Aftershock. And looks like one of their players on the drill side of the field, his gun is down. He's doing some major surgery over there. And insert Dorito. Hopper's completely off. And they got time. They have
5 on 4.
Still 11-11 on the clock.
You got to take it slow right now. It's not a race to shoot this guy out. Nick's got to pick and choose his battles. He's got to wait for his teammates to help spread the field. And that was just a real aggressive, dumb move by Glenn Takamoto.
Big bite, man.
But they were able to capitalize while he's getting shot from Nick. Dalton Vanderbilt was able to shoot him out, cross-field. And Aftershock having 2 guys alive only on the Dorito side isn't good. Alex Goldman and Sheldon, guns up. Dalton Vanderbilt bunkering out. Dorito 1, going to run down the back right, and he does. Exchanges out. Finishes off this game, and Dynasty wins it.
Dynasty just has so many weapons, They have so many weapons, and when they lose one, there's always somebody to fill it, and I think they're doing a great job of that.
That's great homework, though, because they know where they need to be at that time. And they lose someone, they know the next person knows where they have to fill and what they're going to be shooting at. And they just did their homework real well, just like the Russians. Very slow, methodical play, and they're able to just capitalize off people's mistakes, and they just like the Russians capitalized off of infamous mistakes.
And they're doing that very well. So Dynasty continuing to look awesome here at this event. Final score 7-1. Dynasty taking down Aftershock, and you can just see Sosin walking off and just completely dejected. And I just, you know, I'm at a loss for words as to what Aftershock needs to do to get competitive here in this league. All right, do not go anywhere. Next up, got a great game coming at you. A Remergent X Factor taking on Impact. We'll be right back after these messages. I'm Matty Marshall, Nikki Cuba.
Later.
See you in a few.
Thanks to all my sponsors, Empire, all those peeps, and CPX Sports for throwing up a great event. Later.